so when I seen him down at a conference in Atlanta, he said, "Hey, you should check out iMotion." I said, "All right." So it's been on my to-do list, and Caitlin kindly nudged me yesterday or the day before and said, "Hey, you need to do this. It's pretty easy, and I like what I see." So when I got on and sat down and started to look at this, this is some of the stuff that I've been trying to do and build in branding myself. And part of my intention when I brand myself and I do something, I then go out to my field, and we have about 400 advisors across the country. I do weekly trainings. We have national events. I'm one of the leaders and the trainers of that event. So on a weekly basis, I'm saying, here's what I'm doing in the field from a marketing standpoint, from a promotional standpoint, from a technological standpoint. So these are all areas. So this is well timed. So you asked the question of who did some of the videos. We're building a platform. Caitlin, where are all my videos that I had made? I started to look for them last night. Okay, so that's a little bit of a summary. And so now, because I have some immediate events coming up, I have in my mind, I have 3 events probably coming up. So the big ones, this is when I say 3 different events, those are 3 different venues, but they're different categories. So I have 3 different categories, of which in each of those there may be several events. So the first one is the college planning, which is what I started to approach you with last night via Instant Messenger. And that is, I have 2 live events. So one is at the Clarence Dillon Library, one is at the South Brunswick Library, and one is a webinar that we are right now running a Facebook ad campaign to try and pick up families that we have marketed to. Now, what we do when we market to that, we do several things. Our marketing in the past is I buy a list. From that list, I will do a hard mailing. So we've just sent out our order to mail to families, inviting them to come to the live events or to the webinar. How many piece mailing was that, Caitlin?
5,000.
5,000. So we have to pay postage, mailing, all that stuff. So that is already done, and that is actually in the motions as we speak now. The Facebook ad campaign is another marketing attempt to really just grab people on my contact list and through my network in this area to try and drive traffic to that webinar that I'm going to be hosting. Now, with that said, are you familiar with what lead pages are?
Yep.
So Caitlin creates a lead page for me to capture their email address. And then what I will do is systematically start to drop into Facebook, requests for them to come and sign up for this event. What I was thinking I would like to do with you in the script that I wrote this morning is I would like the video to replace the lead page ad, but somehow when they click on that, if there's a way to click or create a link in there that will take them to the lead page ad, that's the sole purpose of what I want that video to do this time. Is that something that we can do?
Well, I'm not a Facebook marketing expert. I mean, I'm familiar with, the Facebook ad platform, but I believe that the Facebook ad itself is literally, I don't think that unless if you put a link in the actual post where you've got the post text and then you also have the video, they're going to have to click on that link. So it's the video player itself within Facebook. I don't think you click it and it goes, now I could be wrong, but I don't believe that you can make it so that when they click on the video, it's going to go to your site, because I think what happens when you click on the video is it actually just pauses the video or starts it. So they don't have that functionality within the actual Facebook player, but you'd still put your trackable link, in there saying, whatever the script is or whatever the video is, which is basically the call to action is, hey, go to this page over here to register for our webinar, which is really the call to action. At that point, so when you're writing your script, you know that, hey, this is going to be on Facebook, so I know that my call to action has to be specific, so you're writing it specifically for the platform it's going to be on. So now the call to action might be, hey, click the link in the post and we'll get you registered for this upcoming webinar. We'll see you soon, or something like that, because you know
So
that's exactly what you want them to do.
Right. So let me make sure that I understand this clearly. And can you give me the screen? There we go. Okay. So let's just go into Facebook. And when I come into Facebook, what I want to know is right here, I'm going to come over here and I go to Education Funding Specialist. Now, the first thing and Caitlin, you're going to have to help me with this, is when I bring up this tab, this is the page that we're marketing from. So we promoted it, we got likes. I put the family picture up there. We've got their file, but we don't have the link on this page, and we need to do that, Caitlin. We need to put that in here. So when I come to home, what I typically will do is, let's say one of the groups I belong to is Allentown. Allentown, I have to go to my home page first. I go to my groups that I follow, and I come to, where the hell is it? Oh, I got to get out of mine.
Before we get too in depth on this, I think maybe I should explain just a couple of things, so that you can kind of get a better understanding of how I can best help you. With iMotion Video, especially through the Discount Video Production Club, we've literally done 8,000 videos, hundreds of different niches, and it's not from fully understanding exactly everybody's marketing plan behind it, because
Right.
what we really focus on is how do we make somebody look great based upon the script that is applied, whether they had a copywriter write it for them, or they wrote it themselves, or whatever the content is about. We make the video around that content, and so
I get that, Andrew, or Jason, from your I understand what you guys do, and I don't mean to bore you with details. I'm trying to make sure that going forward, I just want to know if this little aspect here, because this is important to me. I wrote this script this morning. I went into your online thing and put this in there, and I know that I can press a button, you can do a voiceover,
right,
and you can give me back a video of somebody speaking that content.
Yep.
I understand that. My question is, once I have that video is going to be someplace. It'll be on your server. My question then becomes is, what do I do? Where can I use that? See, I just understand human nature. And one of the things I know is if I put that video into an email, people are going to delete. It's just human nature. I know when I get something, if it's got an attachment or if it's got something where I got to actually take extra steps and hit click, they're just going to delete it. So as much as we're just gravitating to a lazy society or a very busy society. What I'm trying to do is just figure out a way that I can either on content on my website, which will obviously be stuff that I can do and use, or B, that I can turn around and use these voiceovers, these little quick scripts, and either drop this into Facebook, drop this into LinkedIn, drop this script that I've just said, a compelling message to create that call of action.
Yeah. The
call of action I can do on my backside. My question is I don't know enough about the technological side that once I have a video, and that's why I was just bear with me for 2 more minutes while I come back to this, and I just want to show you what I'm trying to do. And let's just get out of this and not go to Facebook. So when I come in here and I'm on here, I can go into this Allentown borough. This is a group. This is my local neighborhood, and people post in here. If I start to write something here, what I've normally been able to do is I can go take that link, that whatever the education funding link is, but whatever it is, I'll come back to my Facebook.
Yeah.
But whatever that link is, and it appears here.
Yep.
What I want to know is where that video is hosted. Will it create a link here? Like, will it create so that, hey, they actually have to hit the play button. Maybe I put a comment, say, watch this, and then below it has the caption of the video. So all they see the little play it, and it'll read the script. And then I can, if I have to insert the link to the lead page below that, that's fine.
Yep.
But I just want to know, is that a capability that we can create?
Of course, because we give you the actual video, and then wherever you host it is wherever you're going to host it. So see that little button where it says add video or add photo?
Yep.
You just click on that. You click on upload. So what happens is you're going to actually get an MP4. So you can upload that anywhere. You can upload it to Facebook. You can upload it to YouTube. You can upload it to Wistia, whoever your professional hosting is, Vimeo, wherever you want it. You can repurpose those. You can put these videos. You can, obviously you can paste the share link if you had it on YouTube. You could post it in there. You could post it natively right there in Facebook just by adding the video that you would have.
I got it. Now I understand. So Caitlin, do you understand what he's saying as well? And does that look like, do you understand what I'm thinking about from a marketing standpoint going forward? How we can use a combination of these two things to create and drive more traffic to where we want it to go?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so on our end, what you're getting is you're getting the actual video, and then you can, whatever you want to do with that, that's what you're gonna, you can, wherever you host it is wherever you host it. Because we got
Vimeo.
There you go.
So we'll host everything on Vimeo. All right, Caitlin.
Okay. You know what? We'll talk about that later.
Well, don't make your decision on that. I mean, there's deeper decisions to make than that, Chris. I mean, you might want to, especially if it's on Facebook. It takes 2 seconds to upload it natively to Facebook, and then you get the analytics from Facebook, the share. I mean, there's all sorts of things. Facebook is going to give you more favor to your video if it's hosted with them than if it's hosted with somebody else, and all that other good stuff.
I see. So thank you for your patience. Now I'm going to shut up. I'm going to give control back to you, and you tell me what I should be doing to be better, and that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking to be better, cutting edge.
Yeah.
I want to be new and fresh in the financial services industry, and you can go ahead and take control back.
All right, let me do that. Let me have something. All right, so I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. For anybody who is in a professional services market where their brand is them, like a real estate agent or a financial advisor or a CPA or anything like that, where it's not really the actual business. It's, if you were representing an actual financial company, then at that point the company is the brand. So I think that people should really take a look at who needs to be the brand. Now, like in Mark's case, I've just gently nudged him. We haven't really talked much. It's just been basically like an email saying, hey man, you should really consider, I know we provide this for free, but that doesn't mean that it should necessarily be done that way. But, because especially when you write the script, for example, like in your particular example, you are branding you. You want people to understand you and react to you. And then so when you have your script written, let's take a look at this thing, right? We're going to open this up. If I take a look at this script here, if we have somebody else other than your voice in here, if we go down here to like the second or third sentence here, I have personally helped families of all income levels negotiate significant awards. And Mark uses that kind of language as well. Call me, I do this, I do that. Well, that's a voiceover that has said that.
100% agree.
So when they call you and they talk to you like, this doesn't sound like you, and you're like, yeah, I know, that was just my promotional video. There's immediate disconnect there,
Yep, I got it. So how do we fix that?
Well, you either write it in the third party, you write it as if it's an ad for you, right? Or you actually provide this script to us, but then you also just hop on your computer, make a recording. Now, here's how we do the professional recording here at the studio. If you think that our voiceovers get it, nail it on the first try every single time, you got something else coming here. The professional voiceovers aren't necessarily professional because they are better. They're professional because that's what they do for a living, right? That's what they hire out their voice and they do the reads. And so what happens is if somebody were to come in here, we would literally turn on our recording software, whatever you use, and we can get into that in a little bit here first. But let's just assume that you've got a microphone and some recording software, and you would literally, you might have for for this looks like about a 45-second, maybe 50-second read because it's only 9 lines. So you would literally you might have 2 minutes of recording because you might say like, let's kind of start this as if I were recording for myself. I might say, do you want to pay retail or wholesale for college? And then you might think, okay, let me do that one over. So you say over, you say, do you want to pay retail or wholesale for college? Over. Do you want to pay retail or wholesale for college? That's right. Families of all income levels get huge discounts. Now, you can see where I stopped right there. You can say over. That's right. Families of all income levels get huge discounts at great schools if the students match up. Over. That's right. Families of all income levels get huge discounts at great schools if the student matches over. If the student matches up well to the correct set of schools. So see how I'm saying over because I feel like I messed up or I want to do a little different.
Right.
So what we're doing is
inflection.
Right. So we're an editing company. So we also edit the audio. So if it's a professional voiceover, that's how they're probably going to do it too, right? And so what happens is if you give us this script. And then let's just go like say you just give us one MP3 that you recorded. That we're going to take out the breaths, we're going to take out the mistakes, and we're going to piece it together so you sound, like you just nailed it. This is the script that I was talking about, right? And that we were on. So now you've recorded your MP3. Now it's not edited. We're going to edit that because we're going to edit whether it's your voice or our professional voice. It doesn't matter to us, right? So at that point, you would go to like line 1 and you can click on any of these line numbers, and just so whoever's submitting these videos for you, if it's not you and you just want to give it a quick training session, this right here, this part of the scripting area is like the most important part other than your script, because this is where you tell us what you're thinking. You can give us examples of videos, like you were at the beginning of the call, you're like, hey man, can you take a look at some of these examples on YouTube that we have? This is what we're trying to emulate. All that kind of stuff this is where you communicate that to us. So, and it's on a per line basis. So like on line number 1, if I were to click on line 1, see how this kind of pops up. And this is where you can type in your special instructions right here. You can upload, say for example, if we're talking about you, and you wanted to have, a professional shot of you, just a still image, you could do that. And we know that we're talking about, and this is on line 1, but you might not want to do that on line 1. You might want to have an image of you on line 3, because that's where you start talking about it right here. I have personally helped families of all income levels. Okay, well, line 3 is where you want to have your image or your picture and your logo or whatever it is. So you would click on line 3. You would give us the image for that part in the video so that our video producers know, oh, here's an image of him. This is where he starts talking about himself. That's where we use, common sense to piece this together so that you don't have to really try to, explain a lot in words. We work on line numbers. So whenever you're giving us assets, and when I say assets, it could be B-roll from your iPhone, maybe you sitting at your desk talking on the phone or whatever. We can use those as backgrounds or an image or anything that you want. This is where you are the director. And,
So you bring up a good point. So what you're saying, the video content. So I'm sitting here thinking, and so really from what I've seen of other videos, like in your mind, if I were because obviously everything you're talking about here is audio. However, you talk about the video portion, which is we're going to insert those video components, and whether you said it's a logo.
Yep.
So let's just say it's a logo or the picture of my family that I had up on the website, like saying, hey, listen, I'm a genuine guy just like you.
Yep.
And maybe that's at the end. And as we shift from one picture to the other, because I'm a very visual person, I think most people are. So you can tell the story in the background with words, but you're shifting from picture to picture, and maybe there's a little motion in it, and that motion might be me a short clip that I've taken with my iPhone of me talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And even though the audio component doesn't necessarily need to be there, you have the actual video of me sitting there working at my desk,
exactly,
or maybe
right,
sitting with a client helping a family out.
Absolutely.
In my office.
You've got it.
So you're saying capture those images of my work day or whether I'm presenting or whatever it is, and the more images that we capture, the stuff that we can use, or if I have an idea, if we're building a promotional marketing piece that we want to do at an event, or like I said, I got a couple webinars. I think, here's my thinking. I'm sorry, I shift gears quickly. And I have these, you mentioned last night, and I don't think there is enough time to do some of the stuff that I would ultimately like to do by this webinar in 2 weeks. That's my personal feeling. If you need 14 days to edit, I just don't see that happening, okay? Because by the time I figure this out, drop everything, start to collect some video, and really give you some content, we would really be pushing the envelope. And even if we did get it completed,
I get what you're saying. Let me just kind of step back here. You've got more time than you think, because this is only if, you got to remember, we're pretty damn good at what we do. We, you don't have to supply everything that is in the video. When you take a look at our example videos, on the page that you signed up on and everything, 90% of the people that submit videos, they don't give us diddly. They don't give us images. We have to come up with our own creativity. What I'm saying is that if you have something specific that because obviously I'm not going to have in my royalty-free library images of you. I'm not going to have your logo.
Right, of my family.
Right, yeah. So only things that you can still leave the creative license to us and only give us 1 or 2 or 3 images. Or
that's what I would prefer to do.
And then and you got to remember, as you develop a relationship with us and submit more and more videos, what's going to happen is you're going to be like, okay, this is what I submitted. This is what I got back. Okay, I think on the next one I want to do this. So you're still building like a working relationship and how to get these things.
I get it. So I like that. And the only thing I was thinking though is that for the time for you to create anything of this, just if we did just the voiceover and we did just the audio, and maybe there was a picture of my banner with the entire script has that image of student loans $165,000. This doesn't have to be you. And let's just say we did that for the first one, just that. I don't know if from what you have in your hand to creating that to getting it back into my hand so I can go put it on Facebook, I don't know what kind of time frame, turnaround time you'd be able to do on that event.
All of our videos, no matter how easy or how complex, we've got a up to 14-day turn time. It's because you're part of our membership, and we're doing up to 200 videos a month. And
I got that.
So
my question is it's up to 14. Caitlin, when is my college planning event?
The seminar is the 7th. Hold on, let me just double check.
So, and regardless of when the event is,
it's the 7th of October.
And keep in mind here, like I said, when you're part of this video submission process here, this is also where, like, if you had submitted your own voiceover, you would just literally do standard voiceover because there's we're using your voice in mail, so you wouldn't have to worry about changing anything on here. But when you go to the very last screen here, it says, do you want to have rush delivery? Standard delivery is 14 days. Our rush delivery is 3 business days. So if you're in a position where you need to have a video back in enough time to get, for whatever your events are and things like that, that's where you can do the front of line service. And that's where we do that. So you do have the ability.
That will be me
Gotcha.
On a couple of cases. Because again, I got My Family Financial Miracle is a whole other national webinar that I'm doing. But I'm really interested in trying to crack this egg a little bit with doing some type of video. And I like what you said, hey, this is me, that I'm able, just so you, like I said, the whole reason I took up some of your time in the beginning, I want you to understand how my application and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your lead on this. I'm going to figure out how to either, we're going to do one or two things. I think with maybe the next one, I probably will have a woman voiceover. I will re-edit it to be in the third person, to have Chris.
Yeah.
I'll give you a couple images that we can put in there.
There you go.
And we'll get that done. I'll get that back to you. I'll work on that today and over the weekend, and I'll have that to you by Monday. With the 7th, that will be enough time for me to get that video back, and Caitlin and I can figure out where to post it, we'll figure that puzzle out,
Yep.
and that'll be our first drive run.
Yeah, and not only that, you're going to want to have, like, say, for example, if there's, like, some minor changes to, like, visuals, because it's hard for you to be the director from a blank slate, but it's easy to tell us, like, when you get it back and you're like, oh, you know what, I didn't like the font that they put in there and the background is a little bit dull. And then at that point you can tell us what you want to change. Now, We
Yeah.
do now. We don't do free redos, but we do free revisions. And the difference is a revision is something like, if we're not changing the script, if we're not changing, what was submitted, but there's just some things that you just want changed up in there. Then of course we're more than happy to tweak that for you. Within the first
Right.
couple weeks of getting that back.
I got it. But if you got to go back and I'm editing script, or I didn't like the way that sounded, and
That's
I
a new
did the
video,
whole
right?
Flow, that's a new video.
Yeah,
I got it.
exactly. Yep. So we don't charge it, but what I'm getting at is if you do want to make some minor changes, like say for example, if you did give us like a 10-second clip of you talking, of you at your desk with a client, and like the phone is like over their shoulder and it's like you talking to them, and you wanted to have that like semi blurred out in the background, right? And then we gave it to you, but it was like flat all the way across, and it was like too blurred. You're like, you guys blurred it way too much. Can you make it unblurred? That's a revision,
I got it.
So, and then the other thing is I really want to talk to you, as long as you're going to be working on this over the weekend, to really think about this script. I would consider, I don't know what kind of budget you have, but I would certainly consider working or talking with a copywriter that can kind of help you make these things more concise and more powerful, because there's a couple, and I'm not a professional copywriter, but I know a thing or two about marketing and selling, and obviously you do too. I would
Listen, I just wrote that this morning.
Yeah.
At 5:30 this morning. This is off the top of my head.
Okay, perfect.
Here's one of the things you'll learn about me, Jason. If you got ideas, if you think here's what I want to do. I want to be awesome all the time. So my company name is Professional Planning Service. I believe that image is everything. You get one chance to make a first impression. So for me, I am not going to be a penny pincher in an effort to put out something. So if you say, hey, I know a copywriter, or I got a guy, or your suggestion, whatever it is, help me with that. That's what I'm coming to you for. And you will see that the first video I'm only doing within the free guideline, because I want to see how the product looks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You still got to get your palette wet. You still got to figure out.
Yeah.
You're going through learning the submission process and our platform and all that other stuff. And this is just the
exactly. But ultimately, I think that this is something that will be part of my regular marketing efforts.
Gotcha. A lot of the people we work with are individual marketers who are bootstrapped shoestringing things together, which is why they're attracted to our discount video production club, because it is, this part of it is pretty inexpensive. And so whenever I recommend like a copywriter or somebody, they're like, I just don't have it in the budget. Now, if you have it in the budget, I highly recommend, even if it's just somebody to help critique, like sometimes it's less expensive to say, rather than write this thing from scratch, if you were to give them this and say, I want you to work from that, and I want this to be under 2 minutes, for not just for the video purposes, but just because I know the attention span. So I need to have this is the stuff I need to get in. Can you either give me critique or kind of like work from this? Sometimes it's cheaper to, because you know what you want to say, but then a copywriter can make it a little bit more succinct,
Yep.
And when I say more succinct, kind of like, there, and again, you did this at 5:30 in the morning, but like the second sentence right here, it's, you've got, if the students match up well to the correct set of schools, position themselves correctly, and what, there's like missing another comma, or we need to change that comma into an and, just little things like that, And then, of course, a copywriter might think that, okay, so, instead of I have personally helped families of all income levels negotiate significant awards, they might think, okay, the person who's watching this may not fully understand what an award is and what is the benefit of that. Now, and so like that could actually be expanded, and again, this is not a suggestion of what you should do. This is just an example of what you could do. So something could be like, I've personally helped families of all income levels negotiate significant awards to lower their and again, like I said, you'd have to wordsmith this, but you're going to give them the benefit to make the cost of college significantly lower without tapping into your savings or without tapping into your retirement or something like that, you know? So now you're hitting those benefit statements and they're like, okay, I want to listen to more. What is this guy now? Because what we're working on here is in the body of this, because you got to remember the call to action is, I want you to go to my website and I want you to register for this webinar. So the benefit statements inside this particular copy has to be the benefits of what you want them to do, not necessarily what you do or the benefits of the college. You know, you want to mention.
I got you. Right. Here, by hopping on this webinar, you will learn how to.
You got it. Right. Exactly. So now what you're doing is you're kind of selling them on making the click. You know, that's what you're selling them on. Then when they go to your webinar page, you might even have like on the lead pages thing, you might even have, instead of just a static page, you might even have like a you know, that's where you might have your invite to sign up, you know, to that's one more way you could use video. Now be careful about that. And I think that when I say be careful is that on every promotion, sometimes video helps conversions. Sometimes the conversions are less, but you never know until you test or try. And that's what I was talking about before. I was saying, you know, especially for like this particular video, this is just the traffic generation. You're getting them off of Facebook or off of social media to go to your lead pages. So I think in order to find out, well, which one is going to do better, a voiceover, whether it's you or a professional voiceover, or if it's, you know, you talking on camera or a professional voiceover talking on camera. Because again, you remember, we talked about this before. We can rewrite this so that it is in the third party and you can still look really professional by having one of our actors come on and say, you know, hey, this is, you know, I work with, you know, I work with whatever the name of your company is, and Christopher.
Right, professional planning services.
You got it, right.
I got it.
And then at that point, we can. You don't have to be there, but we can pop your image up, right? So now it's like you're a third party endorsement, which is kind of cool too. So there's all sorts of different ways, depending on how you are going to do it. You know, if you're comfortable, you know, shooting some video for us to edit and puzzle into these things and add the motion graphics and all that other good stuff, or if you want to just say, you know what, I want to have an on-screen actor for this, but if you know that you're having an on-screen actor for this, then you should probably kind of plan out, this is where you go back to your scripting area and write it so that you know that it's a third-party person talking about you, so you know you're probably going to have to put some special instructions in. Like this would be reworded here. You know, Christopher has personally helped families of all income levels. You know, obviously, in this next area, right here, you know, line 4, line 3, you know that you're probably going to want to supply an image of you, right? Because we're going to be talking about Christopher. You know, or even even better, you know, a 5-second background clip of you like on stage or talking on the phone or something like that we can put in. I think that the movie.
So Caitlin, I want to interrupt here. So,
sure.
Caitlin, a couple things.
Yeah.
So, Caitlin, you know that I don't write well, and you are my editor. So, what I would like you to do is to go into this iMotion and look at the script that I wrote and fix that. Okay?
All right. Got it.
Based on what you heard, I'd like you to write it in that third person.
Okay.
But I would also, if you need a picture of me in there that we think that we should use to upload, where if it's a picture of me working or something that we can do where, you know, hey, I the one that I have right now, just an image that I use on the Facebook, whatever, the headshot and whatever, but, you know, maybe I'm not on the phone, but we need to start to get some of those. Now that I know we have a place to get those and use those and have those come up as images, we can start to get some of those shots from my phone, your phone, from Keith's phone, wherever, and start to use those. And then, you know, I think right now, initially, I think this initial project can get done in time. But what do you think? And based on what you hear, what are your ideas on what direction we should go?
As far as the script and the pictures, I mean,
I know we're going to go with this iMotion. I'm just saying that one of the things that, so the first video is free every month. What I also want to start to think about is how many videos to do a month. And then, I need to find out more about this copywriter, or talking to somebody, either that Jason, or you directly, because I'm going to be viewing this a little bit as, like you're my back office marketing as well, because I got a good handle on a lot of stuff.
I have a gal that I use, and I'm also adding more and more people. And we're kind of testing out our things. Right now, you can do what we have is what's called the annual publishing schedule, where we get you on the phone with the copywriter, and it's meant to come up with the annual publishing schedule, which is based upon one video a month. Now, obviously, you can, it doesn't have to only be one video a month, because it depends on how you're doing. But what they do is we try to come up with these little mini marketing funnels, like what you're doing right here. You've got a traffic generation video, which takes them off of social media or some remote site onto your web property, whether it's Lead Pages or Optimized Press or ClickFunnels or whatever you're using. That's where they're registering for so now now you've got another video within that same funnel, which is like moving forward into the lead generation. And then after that, then you might have some videos in between that are like some educational or promotional in nature, but then you also have your sales video at the end. So you've got like 3 or 4 sets of mini funnels that they try to work through. They're not writing like 12 individual, totally separate, unrelated scripts. They have to be kind of like these funnels.
Because, a theme, like basically a theme, and saying, hey,
right.
I get
a
it.
theme
so
of 3 or 4 videos. So the 3 or 4 video theme is basically like the same thing that they're writing about, but they're putting it into 3 or 4 different video submissions. And so and the reason why we do it that way is because we charge $8.95 for it, and it's $895 for 12 scripts, 1 to 3 minutes. You can't find a copywriter, I know for a fact. Not any good ones that will agree to write that many. So in order to get them to even think about doing that, I said, we're going to do them within themes. So you're really only making 3 to 4 themes. One might be for these webinar things, which of course they can also write them so that you can tweak the dates. So you might have something, that you're doing different webinars. And so once you have it written from a professional copywriter, you can always go in and, you yourself or one of your employees kind of tweak what it says. But the copywriter actually wrote it with all the benefit-driven, statements, and you guys can tweak it from there. So we do have that, and that's within the. If you want me to schedule that, I can get you on with Jennifer. She's right here in Daytona, which is real close to Orlando, and she works directly with me on those. We also do one-off scripts. Script writing is $125 per script. And for based upon a 1 to 3 minute script. So if you wanted to have somebody like that, I could introduce you, and you can just do it piece by piece, or if you want to do the annual publishing schedule, we can do that as well.
So I like what I hear. What I'm going to do right now, I probably would do piece by piece on the copywriting. I would welcome your input on what we're doing here. I'm going to leave this project to Caitlin's insight, because she's she knows what we're trying to do. And as we get through this portion, I will start to introduce the other projects that I have in the makings and workings right now, which are 5. So of those, I can see where, okay, we got this one done, we got it to work, I got some videos. And also in the back of my mind, once I build a model, once I build a funnel, for lack of better terms, on a topic such as college planning, ultimately then I'm going to want to, do these other projects, and we'll step into it. Now, one of the things that I would like to figure out how to do is if I can ultimately, and again, it's purely going to boil down to cost, but, one of my public webinars, creating that into a recording that could be played 24/7. We're sort of doing that now. We've taken my PowerPoint, done a GoToMeeting, recorded it, and then, we can go up there and play that. And then, driving traffic to that so somebody can watch that 24/7. That might be something I will entertain on some of the other topics that I've done, but obviously cost is going to be a factor. In order for me to spend the money, I got to see the revenue coming in from the effort. So that's where it's going to be the telltale sign. But before I get too far ahead of myself, and yes, it's great to have all these videos and all these topics on everything that I possibly know in my head and put it out there. There's two thoughts. A, I don't want to, I want to get one done and get it really good and make sure it's working and seeing if that's driving traffic. And then B, I also, I have to be careful, intellectual property, just like you, all the stuff that I know and have done over time. Ultimately, that's the issue with videos right now. You put it out there in a location where everybody is now copying what you're doing, and they're taking your, and now you've, depreciated your value.
No. That's, I'm going to just be very blunt on that. In today's content economy, and gaining trust with people, you got to put that stuff out there. Don't worry about other people copying, because nobody can be you. And especially if you're making you as the star and you're the one that's presenting this information and all that other stuff, and you're the first, you're the one that's actually putting this content out there. It's what that is that's counterproductive to you building your brand. I mean, you go out and take a look at
fair enough.
So
okay.
I don't want to scold, you know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, don't worry about that. Worry more about how do I how do I make myself so that I am attracting the
right,
the people
branding and imaging. Yeah. That's what I'm looking to do. So I'm all about that, and I like what I hear. I'm just how do we start to step into it? So I say, let's leave it with this. Caitlin, if you can, edit that script in there, and then, again, the picture I'm thinking about is the one, I'll show you with that, and maybe the image of the student loan things that again, if we can get that and try and put that into Facebook. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we run into a struggle. It's not that we're not going to use the videos. I just got to figure out how to use the videos differently. But I want to tap into and be more of a presence on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and anything where, somebody is, everybody watches, I watch videos, they just play automatically on my Facebook. And even if it's, 1 minute, get their attention, boom. And that's their attention span, and get that call to action. I think that's a good recipe.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head there. If something doesn't work, it doesn't necessarily mean because video's not working, which is totally untrue. It's just either the style of the video, the copywriting of the video. There's other. I will tell you this: video is not making it so that video doesn't work. That's not the route to go. The route to go is the content and how it's produced and what it is. That's why we created the Discount Video Production Club, because we know that businesses need not just one or two videos, but they need hundreds of videos, quite literally. And either they're doing it themselves, or it's super ridiculously expensive to get this outsourced from, at least from somebody who's competent that can put these things together. And so that's why we did that, so that people can, especially you as a business owner, and you're able to say, you know what, for $100 I'll give it a try, man. Geez, let's get this thing out, rather than not doing anything. So
exactly, and that's my thinking is that. But as I know me, that if I start to see it in the worst, I got no problem throwing money at it.
Yeah. Yep.
So cool. All right, Jason, let me know what else you need. You'll hear from us Monday. Caitlin's going to edit this, and we'll probably plan on work on making this at least this initial one. But I'm thinking, Caitlin, do you think of male voiceover or a female voiceover the first one? I was thinking female.
I think female.
Yep, and then just write it in third party, working with Chris or whatever. And then if you got any input, like you said, on the script itself, after she's done, we're all ears, Jason. So
here's the thing: once it's submitted, because obviously, I'm the owner of the company. I don't, I've got people that are. The reason why we're able to make this inexpensive is because this actually goes into a process and a queue, and so what happens is our video production people, who are all in house, by the way, I don't outsource this, so everything comes here. They look at it, and they, we've done this thousands of times, so they take a look at what you've given us, the script, along with any assets, if any, and we just make you look great, and that's just, and so there's they don't have any input or
I got it.
If somebody and this happens a lot, somebody submits a real shitty script, we're going to make a real pretty shitty video, if that makes any sense.
I got it. Perfect.
So,
all right, cool. All right, man. Well, thank you very much for your time. Call me or email me or Facebook message me or whatever with any questions or suggestions.
Sounds good. We'll look forward to the submission. And also, Caitlin, don't forget, when you're going through here in this very last screen, because of the time factor on this particular one, you're probably going to want to select the rush delivery, because that is 3 business days. So if you submit this like on Monday, that means that he would get it back on, you'd have Tuesday, Wednesday with a Thursday delivery is when he would get that back.
Yep, I get it, so that's fine.
And then also, you have to make the decision here too if you want to have the branding removed or if you want to keep it. Personally, because of the way that we do our branding, and you can take a look at, go back to our site, our portfolio page, and take a look at all the videos. Most of them are branded. You'll see that it doesn't really take away from the brand, but some people do not like it. So it's just entirely up to you if you want to keep the branding on or not.
Yeah, and Caitlin and I will talk about that.
All right.
So good. Thank you very much, Jason, and Caitlin. I'll call you back.